Welcome, my name is Peter Strong. I provide online therapy via Skype. So treating agoraphobia from home is very important because it's so difficult for you to leave the security of your home or secure area. And being able to get the help you need is really important, and it's very difficult obviously if you can't leave home. So that's why I've developed this online therapy program for treating agoraphobia from home. And it involves mindfulness therapy, which is what I specialize in and have been teaching for many years now, for working with anxiety disorders, panic disorder, and agoraphobia. So the real basis of mindfulness-based treatment for agoraphobia is setting up a very systematic set of exposure challenges. Mindfulness-based exposure therapy is a very effective method because it's very strategic and structured in its approach. It starts off by setting out a series of challenges. Those are the exposures, but you must train for each challenge before you do them. So traditional exposure therapy, which relies on some degree of habituation and familiarization, is really very ineffective. It's much too unstructured really to achieve much effect in the case of agoraphobia. You have to really learn how to neutralize the anxiety before you do the challenge. The challenge is really putting that into action so that it becomes experientially relevant and it becomes a learned experience. But you have to train for it ahead of time. And we do this by meditating on our emotions and on our thoughts that get triggered when we imagine that particular challenge. It might be, for example, walking to the end of the street. If that is a challenge for you that causes anxiety, then we would meditate on walking to the end of the street. In order to make those anxiety reactions conscious so we can really see them clearly and then start training with them. The training is about really developing a separation from that anxiety reaction so that you become the observer and the anxiety becomes an object. This process is called objectification, and it's really the center of the training. It's learning how to break free of the habit of becoming identified with that anxiety reaction. So by bringing more consciousness to it, we can begin to separate out from that habit and overcome that habit. We then incorporate another very important part of mindfulness training, which is developing compassion. That is compassion for the anxiety itself. It is learning to see the anxiety much the same as you might see a child in pain or a frightened animal. You already know how to respond to a child or an animal in a compassionate way. That's part of your innate wisdom as a human being. You know what that means. We need to generate this compassion internally, not towards ourselves, because that's far too abstract. What does that mean towards myself? What we must do is develop that compassion towards the emotions. That is actually what constitutes our conditioned self. The contents, the emotions, the thoughts, the beliefs, the memories, the trauma, whatever it might be, we need to develop a conscious and objective relationship with that content in which we can then bring compassion to it to help it heal. So the mindfulness approach is very much engaged in a very active process of promoting healing, and that is a central feature of mindfulness meditation. In the way that I teach it, has a very strong purpose, and that purpose is to heal suffering. This is what the Buddha taught, and this is what I teach during these online therapy sessions. So if you're interested in home-based treatment for your agoraphobia using mindfulness, then do please contact me. So after preparing for the first of your challenges, until you can imagine walking to the end of the street without anxiety, then you do the challenge and you walk to the end of the street. And all you have to do is stay conscious and let your training take care of any anxiety that may still get triggered. Then after that challenge, you meditate again, what we call a review meditation. So the first is a rehearsal meditation. Now we do a review meditation to work on any fresh anxiety that we have identified. And in the same way, we develop an objective relationship with that emotion, and we respond to it with compassion to help it heal. And then after a suitable break, we repeat the challenge. And we work with any anxiety reactions that get triggered in this way, in a very strategic, very conscious way, focused on healing. When we have finished that challenge and we can walk to the end of the street without any anxiety at all, then we move on to the second challenge in our list. And so if you take this kind of very strategic approach, then you'll see changes very quickly. And most of the people that I have worked with over the years see dramatic improvements within the first 3 to 4 sessions. So I will teach you how to work with your anxiety using mindfulness meditation. It's your job to practice on a daily basis between sessions, and we keep building on your skills so that you have very deep skills on how to work with anxiety. And after a while, you will have established such a degree of training that you no longer experience anxiety, and then you can start to completely change your lifestyle. And of course, with agoraphobia, one of the biggest issues is the problem of avoidance, and we don't want to become limited by avoidance reactions either. So we turn any kind of avoidance into simply another challenge that we train with until we have mastered that challenge. So this kind of approach works. If you would like to learn more about home-based training and home-based treatment for agoraphobia, then please contact me and we can schedule Skype therapy sessions at a time that works for you. I see people worldwide, mostly in the USA, but also in the UK and Western Europe. Really, anywhere where you have a good internet access, that's all you need for Skype therapy. So please contact me if this interests you and you would like to break free from your agoraphobia. Thank you.